Welcome to the Big Book of Wrestling, July 1969. And what better place to begin than the cover-to-cover chaos that defined wrestling's golden age in print. Before you even get to the matches, you're greeted by a bombardment of ads that double as time machines. Bold promises of GED diplomas, career training in electronics, and instant success with high school equivalency. All yours, mailed discreetly to your doorstep. You can almost hear the rustle of the newsprint and the snap of a wrestling boot hitting the mat. That's the tone this magazine sets from page one. Ambition, transformation, and spectacle. Our first major bout, Brains versus Brawn. Haystacks Calhoun versus magnificent Maurice. This wasn't just a size mismatch, it was a philosophy clash. Maurice, the self-proclaimed genius of the ring, believed every ounce of Calhoun's 600-pound frame was wasted mass. He bragged about technique, style, and scientific holds. But Calhoun, he didn't talk. He crushed. The article drips with contempt for Maurice's smugness. It paints him as arrogant and theatrical, flexing in mirrors and mocking Calhoun's bulk. When the bell rang, all the posture in the world couldn't stop the avalanche. Calhoun moved like a steamroller. The turning point was a corner splash that left Maurice flattened. The crowd erupted. Maurice slid out of the ring and never returned. The article closes mocking the myth that finesse beats force. Sometimes size wins, spectacularly. Next, we plunge into the war between Cowboy Bob Ellis and the Destroyer. The Destroyer, masked and dangerous, slams into Ellis like a missile. Bob counters with a massive bulldog to take the first fall, but the Destroyer answers with a brutal shoulder block barrage. A missed drop kick from Ellis gives the Destroyer his opening, a backbreaker that ties the match. The third fall is pure grit. Ellis escapes a headlock and counters with a flying body press. 1, 2, 3. The crowd explodes. Ellis wins. The Destroyer gambled and lost. But before that bout begins, we're treated to a page from mid-century hustle culture. A full-page pitch from Tom McHale pushing appliance repair as the dream job. No experience? No problem. You'll fix fridges and make money in no time. Wrestling might be brutal, but the business world is always lurking nearby. Then it's off to the sky, literally, with Jungle Boy Starr and his devastating finisher, the Dixie Dandy. Starr launches from the top rope like a missile, crushing Big Ox Anderson with the aerial slam. Starr admits it took 4 years of leaping at a swinging sandbag before he perfected the move. The Dixie Dandy isn't just a finisher, it's folklore. From high-flying to heartfelt, we find Jessica Rogers in a quiet locker room, red-haired, sharp-tongued, and ready for retirement. She's leaving wrestling, not for injury, but for marriage. And not to a wrestler, to an insurance salesman from St. Louis. By the time your story hits print, I'll probably be married, she says. Wrestling gave her pride, purpose, and paychecks. Now she wants peace. We shift to Japan, where young Texan Terry Funk faces Hiro Matsuda. It's not just a match, it's a trial by fire. Matsuda is deliberate, cruel, and surgical. Funk bleeds early, enduring stomps and nerve holds, but he won't quit. In a climactic reversal, Funk wins and earns his father's praise. This isn't just a match, it's a coming of age. Not to be outdone, Ray Stevens steps into the spotlight, a man worn down by glory. The article opens with him on crutches, reflecting on how the game has changed. Once revered, now replaced by younger talent and hungrier wolves. His knees ache, his soul aches, but he's not done. Not yet. One more match? Maybe, but win or lose, he walks out proud. Suddenly, chaos. The magazine swerves into absurdity with the tale of Brutus and Beaver. A classic backstage prank gone wrong. Brutus fills Beaver's trunks with itching powder. Beaver explodes mid-match, scratching, flailing, tossing the ref aside in a fury. The crowd roars with laughter. It's farce, it's foolish, it's unforgettable. Wrestling isn't just pain, it's theater. Then comes the firestorm, literally. The Sheik, mysterious, violent, possibly supernatural. In a Houston match, he sets Don Curtis on fire, not metaphorically, actual fire. Flames leap, the crowd panics, officials demand his arrest. But the Sheik, he doesn't speak, he stares, and they let him go. The author, burned but mesmerized, wants answers. Maybe one day the Sheik will explain. For now, the fire remains a mystery. We detour into the dirt and blood of brawlers like Dick the Bruiser and Bruiser Brody. Fighters who didn't just wrestle, they declared war every time they entered the ring. Pages are soaked with crimson and cruelty. each story detailing fractured bones, ruined eye sockets, and chairs bent around bodies. And yet, they're cheered like folk heroes, symbols of defiance in an increasingly polished world. From there, we meet Sailor Art Thomas, whose physique alone could turn a match. The piece marvels at how this man could toss opponents like paperweights, yet remain calm and collected. He's portrayed as a gentleman warrior, the type who doesn't need to roar to strike fear. Moolah returns in another blistering profile, this time answering the charge from challengers like Princess Little Cloud, Sandy Parker, and Kathy O'Day. Her response? Merciless. "Some of them should go back to high school," she snarls. The article makes it clear this is not a woman worried about her throne. She defends it with brass knuckles and steel resolve. Next, a feature on the legendary Grizzly Smith highlights the sacrifice of wrestling fathers. With sons already in the business and more to follow, he talks legacy, injury, and the need to raise kids tough. He's not just building a family, he's breeding a dynasty. Then there's a sudden twist, a brief feature on championship ropes. It sounds dull until you realize this is code for the hidden dangers of ring design. Too tight, wrestlers tear shoulders. Too loose, falls become career enders. Even the ropes are part of the war. As the magazine moves toward its final stretch, we dive into the world of tag team chaos. Duos like the Infernos, the Assassins, and the Von Brauners. These aren't just teams, they're tactical units. The text reads like military dossiers, listing ambush tactics, illegal switches, and referee distractions. The tag division, we're told, is where rulebooks go to die. And then, pure insanity. The Sheik's name appears once more, but this time in an exposé about how he allegedly controls fire using ancient rituals. A wrestler turned amateur investigator attempts to get answers. He interviews local pyrotechnic experts, fire marshals, even a circus performer. No one can explain how the Sheik seems to produce flame from nowhere. In a sport built on showmanship, he's crossed into the mythic. We pivot again with a page titled Wrestling's Most Dangerous Holds, showing blurry, terrifying stills of men trapped in submission grips that twist necks and shred ligaments. The message? Pain isn't a byproduct. It's the whole point. A surprise insert mid-magazine pays tribute to wrestlers who died in the ring or shortly after. Names are listed with dates, causes, and tragic brevity. It's a sobering pause, a reminder that behind every headline, there's a price. But before melancholy sets in, the magazine yanks us back into chaos with a comedic backstage story involving a haunted trunk that cursed several wrestlers with locker room injuries, broken laces, and lost matches. It's nonsense, and it's amazing. We're introduced to George the Animal Steele before he was a household name, still growing, still strange, still chewing turnbuckles, but not yet mythic. The profile reads like a warning. He doesn't think like the others. He doesn't speak like the others. He may not belong in any category. And then we hit the final match coverage, a brutal, bloody affair between Mad Dog Vachon and Billy Robinson. Pure violence. Every move is personal. Every blow is stiff. The article spares no gore, describing torn eyebrows, ripped lips, and a crowd that roared louder with each drop of blood. It ends not with a pinfall, but with referees and trainers pulling the men apart. No winner, just war. A quick detour highlights wrestlers' favorite meals, which ranges from absurd, raw eggs and beer, to oddly elegant, shrimp scampi in the case of Pat Patterson. It's a gimmick page, but even that's delivered with flair. The penultimate article profiles ring announcers, unsung heroes who keep time, manage chaos, and sometimes catch chairs to the face when storylines explode. It's a love letter to the voice behind the spectacle. And finally, we land on the reader's poll. Wrestling's most loved and most hated. The Sheik tops both. No surprise. The closing pages are pure vintage gold. A string of mail-order ads promise to make you stronger, faster, tougher. Want 24-inch arms? Order this muscle program. Want to win street fights? Learn the ancient secrets of pressure point combat. Need a disguise? Buy a fake mustache kit, complete with sideburns and a Van Dyke. One ad offers invisible strength. Another promotes a set of self-defense moves banned by the Marines. It's all absurd. It's all amazing. These were the dreams sold on the back pages of every wrestling magazine. The power to reinvent yourself with a stamp and a dollar bill. In the end, the Big Book of Wrestling, July 1969, is more than a wrestling magazine. It's a cultural time capsule, a mashup of blood-soaked showdowns, carnival barkers, working-class heroes, and fire-breathing myths. It doesn't just tell stories, it lives them. Every match is written like a novel, every wrestler like a warlord or prophet. Whether you came for the flying dropkicks, the locker room hijinks, or the wild-eyed Sheik conjuring flame in the dark, what you leave with is a deeper appreciation for the madness, magic, and muscle-bound poetry of pro wrestling's golden era. This was the age when wrestlers bled real blood, earned real hate, and inspired real devotion. When kayfabe ruled, territories reigned, and fans believed every slap, stomp, and scream. Through 68 pulpy, brilliant pages, this magazine captures it all and delivers a wrestling gospel soaked in sweat, hype, and the kind of beautiful exaggeration only this sport can provide. So roll up your sleeves, tighten your laces, and grab the top rope. Because this journey through the big book of wrestling may be over, but the echoes of the bell, the roar of the crowd, and the legends on these pages will ring out forever.